You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
You know, if you glance at your analytics dashboard this week, what you're probably seeing is just volatility. It's not some smooth curve.
No, not at all.
It's jagged, all driven by, well, economic nerves, AI doing unpredictable things, and consumers who are just, frankly, tired of all the digital noise.
Totally exhausted.
Welcome. If you're a founder, maybe it's a market strategist, trying to figure out, okay, what tactics actually work right now? How do we cut through this late 2025 chaos? Well, you've landed in the right spot.
Definitely.
We've gathered a whole stack of recent market observations, and our mission today is pretty simple. Pull out the absolute must-know strategies. What do you actually do when spending tightens up, AI kind of takes over search, and, well, creators maybe start feeling a bit obsolete?
It really is a moment where the speed of change just makes the old playbook feel almost useless. All the data points suggest the market needs agility now, not just, scale.
Okay, let's unpack this volatility, because the bedrock of it all seems to be anxiety, right? And that really starts with the wallet.
Exactly. We have to ground everything in that economic reality first. Global growth is slowing down. The IMF is projecting U.S. growth to drop quite a bit this year. And that caution, it translates directly into how people are spending.
And it's the kind of inflation people feel every day, isn't it? Not just some abstract number. I mean, when ground beef is up 13%, coffee up 21% a year, that forces some, well, pretty painful choices.
Consumers are getting really creative in response. They're aggressively chasing value, buying smaller packs, shifting where they shop. You see more folks at cheaper stores, ethnic markets, cooking at home more, too.
Right.
And looking ahead, holiday spending anxiety, it's high. The average spend is expected to dip about 10% this year. And maybe more importantly, 57% of shoppers, they think the economy is going to get weaker. They're already tightening belts.
So we've got this anxious consumer. But that anxiety is actually creating a huge opening for value.
Yeah.
And the group really driving that hunt seems to be Gen Z. They're like the ultimate deal seekers, but they're using totally new tools to find them.
Yeah, 95% of Gen Z shoppers are actively looking for deals. That's huge. But the real shift is in how they find them. So 74% rely on social media, influencers. But here's the big tactical pivot. 43% are now using AI for product discovery.
Wow, 43%.
Wow.
That's nearly half of arguably your most active consumer group starting their journey somewhere completely outside traditional search or brand websites. So if you're a retailer, you can't just throw out a discount anymore. You have to blend that value with a personalized digital experience and one that's explicitly powered by AI.
That sounds like a heavy lift, though.
It is, absolutely. And that's the strategic takeaway for you listening. It's not just about having a discount code. You need systems that use AI not just for, say, recommendations, but for personalized outreach, for service. And if you're a smaller brand, maybe you can't build a giant AI engine yourself, but you have to leverage affordable AI tools to give that predictive content, that tailored support. You've got to mimic that customized experience. Okay, so if almost half the key shoppers are starting with AI tools, what on earth is that doing to the traditional search funnel we've all relied on for years?
It's causing this thing we started calling the crocodile mouth. It's really the core volatility SEO folks are grappling with right now.
Crocodile mouth, okay.
Yeah, so what happened in early 2025 was impressions in Google Search Console shot way up, but clicks, they stayed flat or even went down. Impressions up, clicks down. That growing gap, that's the mouth opening.
And there are two reasons for that, right? One's behavioral.
Exactly. The first is AI overviews and just zero-click behavior. People get their answer right there on the search page. They don't need to click your link anymore.
Okay. And the second?
The second is more technical. The impression data itself get a bit wonky. Google removed the num100 parameter, which used to let tracking tools see deeper into results pages. When that went away, the tool started showing inflated impression numbers. Made it look like your stuff was seen way more than it really was.
Artificially widening that mouth.
Got it. Precisely.
So cutting through that means really aligning your content with how the AI itself is searching, which means we need to understand the AI's habits.
And what's fascinating there is that when ChatGPT, for example, needs to search the web to, ground its answers, which it does about 31% of the time, its queries are way longer than ours. 61% longer than typical Google searches.
61% longer. Wow. How long are we talking?
About 5.48 words on average. Much more conversational, more specific.
Okay, but if the queries are that much longer, doesn't that make optimizing a total nightmare? How do you find focus in all that detail?
You zero in on the commercial intent. The most common actionable words showing up in those longer ChatGPT queries are things like reviews, 2025, features, and comparison.
Ah, so bottom of the funnel stuff.
Exactly, mid to bottom funnel. Optimizing for those terms. That's how you capture that AI referral traffic when the user is actually getting close to making a decision.
That focus on comparison and reviews, it naturally leads into the whole AI citation thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That data about recency feels really counterintuitive compared to how we used to think about evergreen SEO. How aggressive do we need to be with refreshing content?
Very aggressive. AI explicitly rewards freshness. The citations AI tools use are, on average, 393 days newer than the results you typically see cited in traditional Google search.
Wow, over a year newer.
Yeah. So to really maximize your visibility in these AI results, your content is literally 50% more likely to show up if you include a current date. So don't keep a title like the state of HR laws, you need to update it. Make it the state of HR laws Q4 2025. You have to signal freshness.
So if freshness and constant updates are the name of the game for AI visibility, then you'd think the content creator, the person constantly making fresh stuff, should be winning, right? But are they?
Yep.
Or are the platforms kind of changing the rules?
The rules are absolutely changing. We might be seeing what some people are calling the death of the creator, at least as that direct-to-audience powerhouse we knew. Social media already shifted hard from follower networks to just pure recommendation media.
Right, the algorithm decides everything.
And now we're moving into a phase where generative AI is just going to create personalized content on demand for each user.
Which implies the platforms themselves. They don't need human creators quite as much to fill the feed. The money might soon shift away from rewarding creators for reaching big audiences to rewarding them for just feeding the AI models.
That seems to be the direction, yes.
The creator becomes like an involuntary knowledge worker for the algorithm. We've touched on this on The Vocal Technologist before. It sounds kind of bleak, actually.
It definitely puts immense pressure on marketers to find content formats that are efficient but also recognizable. What works now, it's about relentless consistency and having a structure people know. That's why the top creators lean so heavily on signature formats. It drives growth and authority.
And there's that framework for consistency, the RARE framework, right?
Correct. Your content needs to be R-A-R-E. Recognizable has that instant visual identity. Actionable gives clear value. Repeatable, you can actually make it consistently. And engaging. That repeatable part is so crucial for scaling things up without sacrificing quality.
And the platform data seems to back this up. Like for Instagram, just posting often is the biggest predictor of growth. But the type of post matters too, depending on your size.
Yeah, for smaller accounts, say under 50K followers, Reels are still generally key for getting reach. But once accounts get bigger, especially over 500,000 followers, carousels actually tend to drive better engagement.
Interesting. And timing. Still those Wednesday and Friday evenings.
Still seems to cluster around 8 p.m. on Wednesdays and Fridays for peak engagement, yeah.
Okay, and tying this back to search and AI, the overall content strategy needs that 3S approach.
Right. Content should cover sales, success, like case studies, customer stories, and support, FAQs, how-tos. If you hit those three pillars, you're covering the full journey, no matter how someone finds you, search, social, or AI.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about trust, because that feels like the one thing algorithms can't really control yet. We've seen this Tilly Norwood effect you mentioned. The hype around AI has just massively outpaced the reality, hasn't it? And it leads to cynicism.
Oh, absolutely. People are getting tired of the spectacle, mistaking flashy demos for actual useful progress.
And that cynicism is dangerous for brands. It brings up that big question, can AI just replace the chief marketing officer?
And the answer is a pretty firm no. I mean, that role needs strategy, leadership, vision, human insight. What we are seeing is the rise of the fractional CMO, someone who combines that human strategy with AI tools for execution. AI supports leadership. It doesn't replace it.
Right.
And this is why having an authentic brand identity is just non-negotiable now. Look at the Lululemon situation. The founder, Chick Wilson, his critique was basically that corporate pressure was killing the brand's creative soul. He called it GAP-ization.
Ouch. GAP-ization.
Yeah, losing that unique edge, that creative leadership. When your growth outruns your identity, you lose relevance, and crucially, you lose pricing power.
You have to protect what makes you, well, you. Contrast that with how Anthropic deliberately built an identity for Claude. They managed to make Claude seem cool somehow by shifting the story away from just speed and automation.
They did. They focused on celebrating the actual act of thinking. They framed Claude as more of a companion for users who value depth, clarity, positioning it not just on what it does, but on the user's mindset. Creators, deep thinkers, problem solvers.
So it wasn't just about features.
No, and that message, plus some smart public activations, built an identity around depth and trust, not just transactional speed.
And focusing on that authentic identity is pretty much the polar opposite of relying on manipulative tactics, right? Avoiding that whole dark psychology thing in sales funnels.
It's completely sustainable growth, sustainable conversions. They come from transparency, not from pressure or trickery. Things like yes laddering, where you manipulate someone through small agreements.
Right, or those fake scarcity timers.
Exactly. Fake timers, shady guarantees, they just erode trust so fast. Instead of a fake timer, why not just communicate your real capacity constraints if they exist? Be upfront about refund terms. Transparency is really the only long-term conversion tool that builds loyalty right now.
So finishing up on a kind of high-touch, very human note, one trend that's surprisingly popping back up is the experiential marketing hotline, using actual phones.
I love this one too. It's such a high-touch, almost low-tech way to just cut through all the digital stuff. You had Canva using old rotary phones for fan feedback.
Seriously, rotary phones.
Yeah, and Disney and Doritos launched these story-driven hotlines for big campaigns. BioSil used celebrity recordings. It taps into curiosity, nostalgia maybe, and it offers a completely different kind of connection, something inherently human in this super automated world.
That's fascinating, a real counter trend.
Okay, so to quickly pull together the key pivots we've talked about that you need to think about right now. First, you absolutely have to adapt to that deal-seeking AI-using Gen Z consumer. Their habits are different.
Got it. Adapt to Gen Z.
Second, ruthlessly optimize your content for this new AI-driven search reality. That means hammering recency and really focusing on those reviews, comparison features, 2025 type keywords.
Optimize for AI search.
Right.
Yeah.
And third, double down on authentic brand identity and real transparency. Choose that over any short-term manipulative tactics or, hype that isn't grounded in reality.
Build real trust. Okay, so what does this all mean for you listening right now? Well, the market is clearly shifting towards these super personalized, algorithm-driven experiences, and that inevitably reduces the reliance on the human creator in the way we used to think about it. So here's the final thought to chew on. Given that the whole industry seems headed toward Gen AI, just creating customized content on demand for every single user, how do you make sure your brand's unique value, its human spark, stays front and center? Especially when platforms might start paying creators just to feed the models, not reach people.
Yeah, that's the core question.
What is the one truly human-only experience your brand offers? Maybe it is something like that hotline, or a unique founder story, or incredible personal service, something AI just cannot replicate. Because that is probably what's worth investing everything into protecting right now.
Spoken Tech, for your ears.